can also go in here and you can tell it to automatically create a plane. So if you pick 3 points on that plane, and you can change the depth of tolerance. So if you wanted to search for an algorithm on there, you just press enter, and it will automatically find all the points on that algorithm within that tolerance across that plane. Right? So if it's a floor, factory floor, it's a ceiling, a wall, whatever that information. It could even be a parking lot, or we did it on different roads. We're picking up that noise. So if people are walking through there or cars are driving by, this is how you could go about that. We create regions. Once you create a region, you can call this a floor. And then you can go over and review these regions. And you can take that region, you could change the color, you could lock it. And then if you locked it, you could go in here and you could actually just get rid of these chairs if you wanted to. Right? So now I could clear this, I could delete it, or I could put those in a different region. If I put them on a different region, now I can turn them on and off like I would layers. Okay? Unfortunately, that does not go into Revit or Civil 3D or InfraWorks at this point, but you can save this and get it the way you want it to look. So if I take all those chairs, put it on its own region, then you can go up here, and a big one that a lot of people are not familiar with, you can just export this data as it looks right now as an RCS file, and that opens directly into Revit or into Civil 3D. So that's the easiest way to take your point cloud, clean it up, export it, and use it in your Autodesk software. Okay. We'll talk about, maybe I'll let this up to David. You can do registration, and we can also publish that to Autodesk 360. Let's take a look at a little bit, some different ideas. This was supposed to be the real easy one, so I hope it doesn't get any more difficult than what I ran into there, right? All right, so that was a simple little room. We did 2 scans. I definitely suggest that's where you want to start. You can go into much bigger jobs, bigger projects. This is actually an arena. This is MSU. Any boos, ahs? Quiet. I like that too. I'm a big Michigan fan. I like the boos as well. I like the data set. This is actually from Niederveld, a company over in Grand Rapids that does a lot of scanning. I'm going to show a couple different data sets from clients. If you guys have a data set that you're proud of, please pass it on. I'll show it in my demonstrations. We're definitely looking for a construction data set currently. If you have a construction site where you're going out kind of monitoring what they do or doing field verification, we'd love to have that and share that as part of these videos and training as well and presentations. So what you can do in a much larger site is have a little bit more fun with it. Now the unified box means a little bit more. We can just drag this, right? And you can change however you want this to look. You can drag it down. You can kind of narrow down the data. What is most useful for you? As you're narrowing down that data, you can also flip it upside down or change how we get the information. So basically, we're creating sections of any information we want. You can confirm this. Then you can also go over here and you can save this as a visual state. However it looks right now, if I go around and I clean up the outside of this, that's going to go into my AutoCAD. Right? I can simply start tracing this. I have a 2D deliverable. If I take, let's say we flip it the other way real quick. Just to give you an idea, actually we'll just go over here and we're going to reset it. Okay. Throw one back on there again, and let's go the other direction, right? What if we flip it through this way? So now we can create a cross section throughout a road, site, whatever we want, every 50 feet, every 20 feet, whatever we want to do here. And now we can start saving these, bring this into AutoCAD, narrow down to whatever is important to us, and then start drawing on that or start detailing whatever information we want, which is pretty cool as well. It's a pretty big data set. If you look real closely, you see it's kind of loading in the background a little bit as well there. Again, we can reset that. When I think workflows and different things that you can do with this data, we could clean up the parking lot, the cars, the noise. But I really like the idea of saving these visual states. So it's a virtual world, right? We just went out there and we scanned this, and we can share it with everybody now. So we can go in and we can take a look at the equipment room. All I did was zoom to this location earlier, save that view state, and I don't have to waste the client's time trying to find where I want to go and pan and zoom. I take them right there immediately. I feel like now I'm at their site. You ever been to a Michigan State locker room? I was lucky enough to play high school football because we graduated like 60 people in my class. But I never, no chance I was ever going to play college, right? So I never got to see any of this information. But it feels like you're at the site. Once you get in here, you can pan and zoom and you can take a look just like we're there. Now imagine putting those Oculus glasses on and kind of panning and zooming and looking around and literally walking through this site as well, this arena. This is kind of funny too. They actually got the showers, right? Just to give you an idea, a bit more of an MEP situation or being able to use data in there or a construction project, the level of detail that's available to everybody too, which is pretty neat. This is one of my favorites though. This is actual tunnel. I believe they have Notre Dame as well, right? So he runs through there and Rudy slaps the wood as he goes through. But there's also a fly-through that's available inside Recap. So you can go in here whatever speed you feel comfortable at. Maybe the first time you're going to do this, you're going to move real slow. Get used to it. Then you can change the speed. It will not let you record as you're doing this, but it's a wish list item. I'm sure we'll see it in the future. You can kick it over to Navisworks and record it, or just use Camtasia. It's actually a Michigan company. We can record it on the screen and spit that out and play it for the client later on. So it's a little bit faster here we can run. Has anybody ever been out in the field for Michigan State before? A couple of you? They won? They won? Big game? Long time ago? Oh, okay, gotcha. I was lucky enough at Michigan, at least. They beat the Buckeyes. I know it's been a while, but we actually got to run down the field. That was pretty fun. So if you've never been there, if you guys help me out a little bit, make sure you're still awake. Or if you just want to holler, because we're going to have some drinks later on. We're going to pretend it's your first time. You're going to run on the field. You got the glasses on, the Oculus glasses. It's real time. Put your arms up in the air. You literally feel like you're there. No oohs, ahs, yeah. Boo, yeah, like that too, right? So you can adjust your speed, and you can kind of fly through here a little bit quicker. You can actually get going really quick. And you can go right out here to the 50-yard line. You can see the emblem, the yardage, everything, which is pretty neat, right? So literally, we're at the stadium. We can record it. We can look at any of the data that's out there. The more scans you do, the more data you're going to have that's more usable. I know everybody doesn't go out and actually scan a stadium, so something maybe a little bit more real life or real-world project that you might talk about to clients or when you go back would be maybe a topo. I know a lot of people in here are surveyors and civil engineers, or on the architectural side. So this was a site that was scanned. We did the outside in about a half a day. It's very, very quickly. The inside was a little bit more tedious than we expected. But look how freely I'm moving this data. I mean, there's billions of points here. The level of detail that we can see. I think I saw John Wildrum here. He actually did this project with me. We got some good stories about this one as well. If you see him in the back, if you know him, you can bug him about it. But the idea, this is an architectural building. We actually did the inside of the building as well. So as we zoom, you can see it kind of waiting to regen. You can see the brick on the side. So we can navigate in here, or instead of boring you guys with that, I can actually just take you directly to, let's say, the second floor. Right? I took my time to zoom in here, pan around. You can see they removed all the ceiling tiles for us. I know everybody that did scanning in the past. How do you deal with that? Right? So if you can get somebody to remove them, you're better off to remove them to capture that data rather than trying to put it up there and capture the data as well. This is the first floor. Kind of cool the way it transitions. Right? If anybody's met Brandon, of course, here from Autodesk, he actually did a lot of the BIM modeling on this. We have an actual Revit model for this entire floor plan. The piping, HVAC, everything you can see here. So it's a scan to BIM example for everybody. If you guys want to see the Revit model, we can work with that a little bit later on too. Captured all the piping, electrical components, everything. Cool. Any questions on recap? Cool. Again, it's a free download for the recap. Everything you just saw there, so the Recap Pro is putting the scans together, and then once we had them together, that's just using Recap. So if anybody gives you a deliverable of point cloud data, you can load it up directly into Recap and do everything I just did, except for create that puzzle. Okay. Yep. No, it's been fixed. So what Eric's speaking about, if you went out, special civil engineering and mobile scanning, you collect data on real world coordinates. What would happen is you would bring it into Recap and it would look, I called it like tiger striping or spaghetti, and people would call me, this product's horrible, I'm never going to look at it again. What are they trying to do here? It was because the origin was so far away from zero, right? Wherever that real world coordinate was, it didn't look good. You could reset the coordinates and it would fix it, but a lot of people didn't know that. So it has been fixed. You can download the latest version, 2015, and you won't have any problems. So actually, I should have showed that the one I was working on was on real world coordinates. We had elevations in there as well. So definitely take a look. Anybody else run into that? Cool. Still grids it. Yep. And maybe Aaron might want to talk about any of this a little bit more. Gridding or decimating the point cloud at all. So they're bringing in 10 miles, 20 miles of road data, right? So does it load every single point, right? How do we know which way it's decimating that information?
So I tell you what, we can probably talk about that specifics because I'd be curious to understand what the different requirements. We do decimation, but we try to preserve the integrity of it as much as possible. And there shouldn't be conceivable loss.
Are you missing a lot of it in the past?
No, it's not something that I've on a civil project.
Okay.
That we really noticed, but I've talked to people, some real high detail things where they feel like they lost, because the automatic decimation don't just lost data where they had really high resolution and were unknown.
Yeah, so I think actually that's an unrelated fraud that was reported, not necessarily not necessarily from recap, but there shouldn't be a discernible if like you were to put up a point cloud from Cyclone or a point cloud from recap, there shouldn't be a visible difference in those. So I have seen issues where when bringing into one of the hero products like Revit, there is something that points are missing, and this is an actual bug, not a side effect of what we're doing. So, but if they've got an issue, or if it isn't recap, it's definitely talk to it.
Cool. All right, so that's Recap Pro. Recap is a free version. It comes with design suites. And now we're talking about Recap Photo. I know Aaron talked about this a little bit earlier. Has anybody tried this? You guys actually took your camera. You actually use your iPhone. Take your iPhone, you can go around an object. How long is that going to take you? Right? 10 minutes tops? Probably take you longer to pick out an object to actually take pictures of, right? So if you get a chance, I definitely encourage everybody to try this. Everybody calls me, how's it work? How long is it going to take? I'm going to do my house. Don't try your house first because you're probably not going to get good results the first time. It's probably going to take you an hour to go around and get all the photos that you need. So I started out with something a little bit smaller. I think coming up with what you want to use is a hard choice, but I actually used the scanner of the P20 from Leica, set it up out in the yard, took my iPhone, literally, let's just see what this thing does. It can't work, can't be that easy. Literally started taking photos. You can see every photo that I took going around it. I think Aaron talked about it earlier. I forget the actual percentage you mentioned. 5 to 10 is what we're looking for. Okay, so the more you do this, the more you're going to learn about it. I was worried about the actual scanner itself. I learned that if you want the antenna, if you want the handle, you got to take more photos of the smaller detail if you want that to show up. Okay, but again, make sure you have plenty of overlap. Take way too many photos. It can't hurt to take too many, and it does work. The hardest part for me, if you guys go back and try this, you have to have an Autodesk 360 account. You also have to have Google Chrome. I was trying to use Internet Explorer. It probably took me 10, 15 minutes. I kept dragging and dropping everything, and it wouldn't work. Once I figured that out, I dragged and dropped the photos. Literally, it was this easy. Which ones do I want to use? I got rid of some of the bad ones that I didn't want to choose. And literally, within a couple hours, I received an email back. And this is the point cloud that I got back from those photos that you just saw. I think I had another 15 or 20 photos in that list that I cut off that you didn't see. But literally, I can pan and zoom around this. This is a true point cloud. You can also get a mesh as a deliverable, an OBJ file if you want to as well.
So a few points since we're talking about some nice to know. In fact, can you go back to the previous image?
Yep.
There?
Whoops.
The one with the photos.
Yep. There you go.
So a few tips here. Now we do. If you go to recap360.autodesk.com, there's a sort of a tips and tricks, best practice guide. I believe there's also we have a webinar series, and there was one that talked about sort of these. But a few things just from this image. You notice that he's both got the object and the background. The background actually matters, even though it's not being a part of the 3D model. We're using features both of the object and surrounding it to compute that 3D geometry. So it's good to have the background. We also, he's done a good job in this one. About 50% of your image should be the object you're trying to capture, and the rest of 50% should be that background. So that's, you can see here, he's probably got that mixture in there. So couple of tips just based off of what you've done.
The other big question I get, can anybody go, they want to go inside the room and then they want to take pictures around the outside? I've seen a little bit of success with that, but it's much more challenging.
Yeah, it's much